That is so cool. That music just needs an RTTY underneath it or something. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It's Mike from Flex Radio. We've got JP. How are you?
Hello, y'all. Everything's
Good.
good in Texas.
And Mr. Wells,
Hey, greetings, everybody.
welcome. I bet you've talked to a lot of people that come to our show. So at times,
A few?
a few. So just do you think that this just is a normal, we get a couple of guys on, we sit here and go to chat. The last 12 minutes have been sheer terror because, my computer, don't think we don't have problems. I hate to talk about a Windows update, but I have a lot of sound devices, even beyond DAX, and they were all messed up. So we got them all straightened out, and then Ken shows up, and hi, Bernd. He's like the first guy here every week. And then all of a sudden, when Ken talks, there's this big echo, which is driving JP like we were torturing him. So we figured out it's my computer. So I go to reboot the computer, and it's a fast computer. It's a big gaming computer. It's got like 32 gig of RAM. Reboots in 90 seconds because it's got M2 drives and this and that. And it comes up and goes, "We're going to do a disk check on drive G, which is 2 terabytes." And it's still doing it. So,
I didn't know you were a gamer, Mike. You have.
I'm not. I just wanted a computer that worked. What is it saying now? Yeah, it said it'll be done in 90 seconds, and that was about 11 minutes ago. So I had to move over to the Mac. And I was gonna, I had a better camera set. It was gonna be great. JP had all my monitors all lit up, and now we're just onto the Mac as a backup. So,
hey, this is a technology company. We know how to go with the flow.
We know how to go to the flow. I haven't been posting the messages here, so Ken's probably hasn't seen this. So
now this is my first time on your show, so it's good
We're
to finally get a chance.
To the typing, right?
To the typing.
This is Ken, so he's not a bot. He's a real human being.
I think I hope I got Brian's call right. He's going to want me to show up and do a club presentation on a Saturday. Isn't that like Thanksgiving weekend, even though I'm a Canadian? So I was just looking it up. Andrew from Namibia is there every week. Hey, Don. I'm not going to pronounce that because I'll get it wrong. So I apologize.
There's that umlaut that I think my German class said is Bö. It's probably wrong.
There you go, Ken. Well, you're trying.
German and Swedish are different. They're
so good. Hey, we had really good 160 meter DX last night, and that's why I ended up posting that thing on Facebook about dynamic range and how critical AGCT is. And I had a plus 3 dB signal and 124 hertz away on WSJT. I had a minus 24 dB signal. Okay, and in voice terms, that's like this close, and decoded both perfectly. And that's why AGCT is so critical, and why I reposted today the video that Tim and I did. And please don't play it like an RF gain because it doesn't work that way.
Yep. And you'll set it up differently when you're doing digital modes and when you're operating sideband or CW. That's a great thing. It's so flexible.
Now that you said it, you're going to have to explain the differences.
Exactly. I was going to say, what's your trick, Ken? Come on, share it.
We'll come back to that.
Yeah.
So anyway, JP, I know I've had a couple of emails today. So what's going on? What's what's on for Black Friday?
Black Friday.
You're not going to tell me, are you?
I can't. It's a big surprise. I can't.
Okay.
No, I can't. I'm sorry. I mean,
be serious.
If I reveal it, I'm not going to be able to be on this show anymore. So
I'm half waiting to reveal so he doesn't have to be on the show anymore. Hi, Santiago. How are you?
I thought you liked me.
Right? I do like you. Yeah,
but not on this show.
No, actually, no. See, when you're not on the show, we pick on you because that's why we even like you more. So,
hola, Santiago.
That's about all the Spanish I know is hola.
Hola.
And
there's Facebook in Spanish for people that speak Spanish. If you search on Facebook, Flex Radio and Espanol, did I say it right? Espanol. You can post your questions and videos on Facebook in Spanish, Espanol.
That's going to be a real great
It
help
is.
for a lot of folks.
Yeah. It is. It's helping us a lot. You wouldn't believe it.
Then he's going to have to spend all weekend writing a Spanish manual.
Yeah.
So, in all seriousness, this is the things you have to consider if you're going to go into a different country. Are you going to produce the manual in a different language? How do you handle the importation? How do you handle the shipping? How do you handle the post-sales hardware support? Because you just can't take it to anybody. It's going to generally have to come back to us. So,
local regulations, the local.
Yeah, and even the local, just to ship it over the border, because we've had some South American customers, right, that have gone through some hoops to get stuff into South America. Same thing in other countries. So, yeah, it's a trick. So yeah, that's why it's just not. You think, hey, just put it in a box and ship it to me. Well,
yeah, dealing with customs both directions can be a pain in the neck.
Even into Canada, Canada's not so bad, but for me, I just have to avoid having to pay the HST or the VAT tax when it comes back. So far it's worked out fairly well. But anyway, so we invited Ken today. Ken, you live where?
I'm in Lafayette, Indiana, the home of the great university known as Purdue.
Purdue, which is the Eastern time zone.
Eastern time zone. Yep.
And Ken's been part of our support team for a while. I think you got a bit of a year. You got a bit of an eye opener in the first year.
Hey, it's been fun. Working hard, but having fun.
We get to talk to some pretty cool people. We all do, actually. It's it's amazing the people we meet. He's also got the sun just in that twice a year when it shows up on the side of his face at this time of the day. So he's trying to dodge that. What got you into ham radio?
Oh, golly. Started back when I was about in the 5th grade, actually. I was a space nut in the 5th grade. And I'm old enough that my younger brother and I, we watched the Gemini and Apollo space programs all the way beginning in, probably 2nd and 3rd grade. During my middle of my 5th grade year was when the Apollo 13 disaster happened. And my teacher invited somebody to bring in a radio that we could play and listen to the news on the top of every hour, just so we could stay informed. And one of my buddies, Kevin Davis, had one of these little radios that he got for Christmas from Sears that looked like a console, but it also had one of those little 100 milliwatt CB radios in it and a Morse code key. And we got to play with that during breaks. And that kind of got me interested in radio. That and the little toy walkie-talkies my parents got my older brother and I for Christmas years before that. And my dad was a school teacher, and he brought home a book called How to Build Your Own Radio Station. Mm-hmm. And so I developed an interest in ham radio. For a couple, 3 years, I kept looking for a local ham to help me learn the code, because the only way I learned the code was out of the little dots and dashes encoding things in the spelling book that we had. And I couldn't find anybody at first, so I went the cheap way and got a CB radio with all my newspaper and yard mowing money, and was a CB. Yeah, I was a CBer during 7th and 8th grade. Still remember my call, KEM 1833. Well, actually, it was my dad's call, because you had to be 18 to get a license number. My call sign was, my nickname was Polecat. But when I was a freshman in high school, somebody recommended that I contact this other ham named Lou Stafford, WA9TPZ. And he was one of those old school guys. He was legally blind, and he could send code at about 40 words a minute with an old-fashioned railroad semi-automatic bug at about 40 words a minute in his head, copying, and hold a conversation with me at the same time. And he helped me make sure I knew the code and gave me my novice test. So I got my license 1974 as a freshman in high school, and I've been a ham radio lover ever since. It took me 4 years to upgrade to general, and then later on to advanced and extra, and all the way through the ranks. But it's been a great journey, and I've tried just about everything there is in the hobby except moon bounce. And the last several years, I've been using flex radios, In fact, I was a flexer beginning around Christmas in 2012. And then I always thought, hey, when I retired, it'd be fun to work for this company. And it was kind of my dream job. And I retired a year and a half ago after 36 years in the ministry, and I needed something to pay for my health insurance and to keep me occupied because I was only 60 at the time. And so I, contacted some of the folks, and they said, come on board. I'd already been a Elmer and a member of the Alpha team, so it was kind of a slide right in deal.
I laugh only because generally you go work in your hobby, you get sick of the hobby. I'm amazed at how many people here still work in the hobby, but still hobby in the hobby.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you have tough, long weeks, and when you're done working, you go, I don't want to sit in that same chair for several hours of a contest. But the fun thing is I get to borrow lots of really cool equipment, and
DXing is always
test it out, DXing. I don't have much of an antenna up yet because I've only been in this location for a little over a year, but I got some wires up, and I've already been able to get worked all states on 4 bands and 48 states on 6. So from even though the crummy antennas I got here.
You bring up a good point in the hobby. You don't have to be a DXCC contester and try to work all 300 whatever countries. You can set whatever goal you have, whether it's all the counties in your state or all the states or all the Canadian provinces on 2 meters or whatever that is for you. And then I know some DXCC guys. You know what they do? They start over.
I had to start the worked all states over when I got to a new location because I was outside the 45-mile range. So I had to start all over. So I got 4 bands now, and I already had it on 9 on my last location.
Good for you.
And I was never a paper hunter. I'd never confirmed more than 60 DXCC countries until I got the Flex, which is an interesting story. I gave myself a 1500 for Christmas in 2012. I had it for precisely 3 weeks, and I was begging my wife, I got to order the big one. and that was before they even. I wanted to go to the 5,000. Then I saw this ad about the game-changing new thing called the 6,000 series, and I thought I got to order that 6,500 because the 6,700 was like way out of my price range. And even the 6,500 was too, but my dad passed away and left a little bit, and so that's my legacy to my father. That and the tower that I put up at the last location. So I was able to put some money down on a 6,500 in January, and I had to wait until they started producing it until August, and got it. And then it was like no turning back. I sold my 850 SAT that I was never going to use again, and then it was like, okay, well, now what do I do? Well, new radio, new goals. So I started saying, I'm going to take a crack at the DXCC and worked all states. And, thanks to the Flex and the superb CW filter, I was actually doing CW, and I'd never done RIDI on anything. And the Flex was the easiest ever to do RIDI on. And then, FT8 came out, and between all those 3 modes, it's like, okay, quickly mounted up over 246 DXCC countries, and DXCC on 8 bands, and worked all states on 9 bands, and 48 states on 6 meters. Alaska and Hawaii, where are you?
I need them too.
Yeah, but it's just like the Flex has made it so much fun.
Good.
Easiest rig ever to do splits on, and the easiest thing ever to do RIDI on, and digital modes in general. So, now it's like, okay, now that I've done that, now what do I do? Well, satellites are hanging over my head. I'm going to try to put a satellite station together, and once I get some stuff out and trees cleared and towers put up, and then Michael, I'll be chasing you on satellites. Or then what?
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to get on in a while. What's that, JP?
No, or maybe doing FTA digital modes on 2 meters. That's something in my head also.
Yeah, I've done FT8 on 6, but I've only done a few contacts on 2. That would be fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Meteor scatter.
We're going to change the subject for a minute, so we're not here all day. But that's awesome.
We're hams. We like to talk.
We
Mike.
wanted to talk about, this is funny because we wanted to talk about support tickets, and in case you ever have to use it, what can you really do to help and make it, go as quickly as possible, and why we leverage on email a lot, because you can do a lot of things while you're doing a lot of things, and necessarily. Was it Dan was saying today? Didn't he get it? Dan was looking at a ticket today, and all it said was, "Please help."
Yeah, we get a lot of those, unfortunately. They'll just say SmartLink doesn't work, or we'll get one that just say it's broke, or it doesn't connect, or whatever. And the best thing that you can do to help the support folks help you is information. When you start filling out a ticket, there's all those questions on the left-hand side of the form, or however the form does it, that ask you important stuff like your radio serial number, what software version you're using, what kind of computer are you using, what version of operating system. They'll say it won't connect, but they won't say, I'm trying to connect with my LAN, or am I trying to connect remotely via SmartLink? It's just, the more information and the more specific about the issue you're having you can give me makes it so much easier, because I just don't have to ask you those questions all over again at the very beginning of the ticket and have to go back and forth 2 or 3 times. So that really helps. And the more specific about the issue you can be, it really helps. It's
like you have to tell a story, right? You have a how did you get here, or what what works or what doesn't work type of thing. It's we were joking about, imagine taking your car into the dealership and saying, it doesn't work. Well, what's wrong with it? Doesn't work. Okay.
Yeah, it's making a noise. Well, is it making a noise like your mother-in-law, or is it making a noise like your dog barking? I don't know.
Mother-in-law. We found that screenshots, and we're going to actually have a bit of a document on this later, but screenshots really help, right? Videos.
Absolutely.
You had a guy send you a video recently, right?
Yeah, I've had lots of them, and even simple things like if the power button is flashing, well, tell us what color and how many times it's flashing before it pauses and starts over, because those flash numbers are important indicators on what the error might be. So just be observant, be specific, be descriptive, and then we don't have to take the extra time to ask the questions that can help us diagnose your issue. We really want to help. And
so if I need to open a support ticket, how do I do it?
A couple of easy ways. One, if you're using Smart SDR for Windows, go up to the top menu line and click on Help. And there's 2 options that come down. One is Community, which a lot of times you can go on the Community and ask a question and get help from all the wonderful Elmers on the Community, or search for it. There might have been 3 or 4 or 18 people who've had the same issue that you're having, and you can read that and solve the problem yourself.
They reply very fast.
Yeah, a lot of them do. And but if you need additional help from the staff at the help desk, one of those options is called Help Desk. So you go to Help and then click on Help Desk, and it'll bring you up to this. And thanks for sharing that, Mike. And when you look at that, there's some general articles about how to use the help desk. There's a section on the Flex 6000 series or signature radios. There's even a section that you can click on that gives you information about the legacy stuff, the 1500, 3000, 5000 stuff. There's just a wealth of articles in there that you can search for that'll answer a whole lot of questions. So this is kind of the self-help desk you can look at. And then also one of the options is you can click on some more help, and it will say how to open a ticket. And there's a link on there to how to open a ticket. And when you open it, be sure you put your name and your call letters in if you haven't already opened an account with the help desk. And again, information. Give us as much as possible.
There's a link on the upper right corner also that says submit a ticket.
There it is, right there. Mm-hmm. Submit a ticket, and then it'll link to your email, and it sends that to our help desk, and then Tim or I or Mike or Dan generally will pick up that ticket and respond to your email with suggestions, additional questions, or linked documents that you can use to help solve your issues. And in some cases, we will need additional conversation and make a phone call. And people ask, why do you use the email? There's a lot of reasons for that.
You that.
Yeah. One, if we do it through the help desk email system, we have a permanent record of the entire process. And the managers of help desk use that to do forensic analysis of all of our issues and all of our tickets, so we can improve the way we serve our Flex Radio partners. And that is a valuable resource for us. Which is also why sometimes we'll say, hey, that's an additional question on a different issue. Please open a new ticket, because we need to track those separately. The other thing is, if you've ever
it's sort of one problem, one ticket. And the reason it's like that is so that you can keep the information for that one problem in one place. And you may have to go in a different direction, right? With that, because I'll take over some stuff and I can go read the story.
Yeah. And the other thing is, it prevents, what we'll just call gunny sacking. Which is a term I've used in premarital counseling sessions. Gunny sacking is when you walk into a room with a gunny sack full of rabbits, you toss them on the floor and say, go round them up. And, you know, and so if somebody brings, oh, and this, not only that, you know, this is also busting up too, and this isn't working either. And then you're spending so much time chasing rabbits. The only thing worse than chasing one rabbit is chasing two. Because when you start getting a beat on one, the other cuts in front of you, and you try to chase that one instead. And so, you know, we're only human, and one issue at a time keeps us from getting confused, so that we can
which is
offer
easy
better
to do.
service. Oh yeah, it happens all the time.
And I want to say something here. Sorry to interrupt. Sometimes your problem is fairly straightforward, right? It'll go, when I go into split, this happens. And then they'll come back and ask you, which are a ton of different, what sound like a ton of different, really non-related questions. But what we know is it's possible to get where you are from about 9 different directions, and we want to know what path you took to get there.
Yeah.
Or, you know, sometimes it's even, are you using a single spectral capture unit ready to do a dual spectral capture unit? You know, is it a 6400 or a 6600, 6700 problem? Because the RFS are all different, and so.
Right.
And I'm sure people think they're stall tactics, you know, but no, it's all good poop, as they say.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, I got better things to do than just stall customers. You know, I want to solve your problem, and I can't solve your problem without the right information.
And we really want to get rid of you for this problem, anyway. Yeah, but in a good way. So,
yeah, we want to get you back on the air as soon as possible, and following the process is the quickest way to do it.
So here's the hard part. What don't we do?
What don't we do? We do not do extensive.
Hold on. We'd love to do it, but we don't have the time. But what don't we do?
Yeah, it is outside our help desk mandate to do extensive network engineering. You know, so you call in and say, I can't get the smart link to work or whatever, and we give you we can only go so far and say, now beyond that, your network is screwed up. Well, why don't you go in and fix it for me? Well, you know, we don't do that.
2 reasons.
Yeah, several reasons. One is I'm not a network engineer, but beyond that is, you know, there's all kinds of liability stuff. If I make some innocent change and then something screws up in your network that's completely unrelated to what was done, you know, a good lawyer can blame somebody for anything, and so we don't go there. But not only that, there's boundaries between what is our responsibility as a Flex Radio company and what is your responsibility as a customer to make sure that your house is in order. And so it's not my job to clean your house, network speaking. Yeah. Go ahead.
Simplify. One of the first things we're going to ask you about is simplification.
Yeah. We're going to trace down what the real issue is, and we'll steer you to how you can fix that issue beyond what our mandate to do help is. Even though I would love to go in and personally do the port forwarding on everybody's SmartLink account or whatever, I can't always do that. because, you know, as your router, and you need to be responsible for it. I can give you suggestions and help, and sometimes have, you know, broken the policy because, you know, Tim and I and you know, Michael and Dan, we want to be helpful. We want to be helpful, and sometimes we get kind of pulled into that because some folks are really having a hard time with this part of the technology. Yeah, we do care. I mean,
we do care.
We're not just Flex Radio employees. We're hams, and we love to get people on the air. We're Elmer's first. I mean, I was Elmer for 6.5 years before I started working for the company, and so you know, it's been in my nature to always try to help people. Plus the profession I had before I started up here, so we want to do that.
I was going to say, one of the things we'll often ask you, the radio is doing something weird. This is something you can do, is turn off all one of the great features of the Flex Radio is Smart SDR Cat. One of the most powerful features we have, because it allows us to do so many things. But it also is can cause some undesired results if you've forgotten you've done something, like you know, you forgot you had in a different window some other logging program or automatic cluster tuning program in place, or N1MM or this or that. So we're going to ask you to check and make sure, okay, turn off WSJT, turn off, you know, Slice Master, turn off FR Stack, turn off Okay, so problems still exist. No. Okay, good. Turn something back on. Does the problem come back? And they'll say, yes, okay, it's FR Stack. Sadly, not to pick on poor Mark, but some other application, you're going to now need to understand what's causing that to happen.
Yeah, or if you got one cat port that's set up for auto switch on transmit, and that you forgot you did that, and wonder why when you do this it's transmitting on the wrong frequency. Well, the radio will do exactly what you tell it to, but sometimes you don't know you told it to do that.
Yeah, I have a great contest one, and it was asked on the Facebook one, and it's happened to me in a ton of different contests. I look up and I'm running. I've got this great rate going, and because I like running contests. I hate search and peck. So I'm better, you know, and we have some friends that are great search and hunt, you know, search and pounce people. And so we make good, you know, multi-stations. And that's, you know, if everybody brings something special to the game, just leverage it, which is what we try. And I'm running. I look over at the Maestro and it says, your RIT is plus 200 Hertz. I didn't touch the RIT. But we were talking about this earlier this week. So then I learned, and so, okay, I get it. My run's going, I get it back to 0, and I just carry on because I don't play with N1MM macros, but clearly I need to, so I'm gonna have to look at that, because Craig gave me the answer to how to fix that, and that's perfect. It was actually the absolute perfect answer. So next contest comes by, I look over and I get this great running. Why is everybody calling me off frequency? And sure enough, RIT's back on. So inadvertently, and JP, you'll find this interesting, on the keyboard I had hit the up or down arrow. Cursor arrow, and that is how you quickly tune the RIT. And in a good contest station, you do not want to take your hands off the keyboard, because then it takes time to put them back in the right place. And so there's a clear RIT cat command that goes to the radio and brings the receiver back on top of the transmitter. So, but I finally, you know, eventually figured that out. And that was a question earlier this week, and it's, you know, it's reality. So we're happy to help try to find those out. So. Anyway, cool. JP, anything else?
No, actually, yes.
What did we miss, JP? Because you get asked a lot of stuff.
No, man. I was gonna mention something about the amplifier, but I don't know if you're interested in knowing that.
Are you out of amplifiers?
We do have them ready to ship, but are you interested in that, or not? Like, it's something.
I got mine.
Yeah, we do.
I got mine. We might have some. There's some stuff coming. Anyway. Ken, that's awesome, and you know, that's like now you can get people call you and say, hey, I watched you, and you know, it's fun when you can put a face to a voice.
He's a real human being. Yeah.
Well,
I was questioning on the phone, is Ken a real person? I said, yes, I spoke to him over the phone. Yeah.
That was kind of fun. Even several years ago, when we could actually get out to Hamfest, you know, I used to be very well known, or maybe I should say prolifically writing on the community, and I had people come up to me when they'd see my call letters on the back of my shirt and go, NM9P, I see you all the time. It's like, Well, yeah, I never even had that
What
when I was in
happens?
the ministry. You go to the football
You're
game
still
and your own church members are up there, and they, instead of saying, "Hi, preach, come sit with us," they just look the other way sometimes, and but it's kind of fun to be recognized and to make friends over the ham radio fraternity, even though a lot of them are virtual relationships until you see them in person.
You're still in a ministry. It's just different.
Well, yeah, and I'm still got my credentials. I just am retired.
Okay.
Doesn't mean I won't get back into it at times. I still do an occasional wedding and stuff. So, but that's fun.
Hey, JP, Brian's got a suggestion for you.
Yes.
Let me know. You go talk to Matt. You can go talk to Matt about that. And, Matt's our VP for sales. Well, we're about out of time, but I get the same thing in contests. People say hi to me in a contest, and I'll say hi back. And occasionally, I hear a call. That call sounds familiar, and I'm pretty good, about remembering some calls. By the way, my 3-minute check drive G
still
now says 24 minutes. Yeah, 24 minutes remaining.
Gosh.
I guess the popular was written before the drive. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a scratch drive anyway. So
2 gigabytes or 200 gigabytes, 2 terabytes. That's a lot.
2 terabytes.
Geez, I'm dating myself. I remember when 2 megabytes of RAM was a lot of megabytes.
Yep.
Yes, you and I both. Here. I can show you.
Yeah, my first computer had 128K. Oh yeah.
Well, this
memory.
Is 128K by 1 byte.
Wow.
Yeah. And this is why they call it core memory, because those are little donuts. And for those that have worked on computers in this time frame, they'll fully understand that's 4-wire core memory.
Yeah.
And I have 2 pieces of it, and it's from the US Air Defense computer called the ANFSQ7, which is where I got my computer training with IBM. Imagine being 19 years old. What's that?
Yeah, my college
TV
physics
was
prof
color
had
or black and white in that time.
Yeah, it was black and white. Imagine being 19 years old in a secure NORAD air defense place, 600 feet underground, and they leave you in charge. So, and they did.
Sounds a lot of fun.
Ken, thank you for spending the time with us and everything, and I hope you're going to have a good weekend.
I'm hoping so too. It's great to see everybody or be seen. We got a great company. It's a lot of fun to work with, but we got a lot of great Flex users out there, and it's always a pleasure to be helpful. And do
you want to share the stat that came up in the staff meeting a half hour ago
that
about
would be
turnaround times?
Yeah.
Do you remember what John said?
Oh, that about the turnaround time
last year.
The average time
last year was.
Yeah. Last year, the turnaround time for repairs was about 2 weeks, and over the last 2 quarters,
25 days. He said.
Yeah, some of them was even longer than that. Yeah, and so now our current turnaround time is about 5 days. Yeah, 5 days. So the repair techs have really been able to do a lot of catching up and reorganizing, and so some of the best service in the country. So
good things happening.
We have some pretty smart people. I'm amazed what why can't I think of his name? I don't think he sleeps.
David?
Darn, now I'm embarrassed. Anyway, we've got some pretty smart people working on hardware. It's amazing what they are able to do. So, thanks very much, guys. Everybody have a great weekend.
Yeah,
and
go out and have some fun with your Flex radios.
Yeah.
We'll see you all later.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Have a good one.
Bye.